Moving on to the runaway spending spree in Washington is about to make this country much less safe and secure. Here now, retired four-star General Jack Keane, Fox News senior strategic analyst. General, always such a pleasure. What jumped out at me, I just happened to see this yesterday, the interest on our national debt in fiscal 2021 was $562 billion. That is coming very close to the roughly $700 billion that is our defense budget every year. And where does this leave us, given with inflation, our spending on defense is set to decline?
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, as every household in America has to deal with inflation, and they have less buying and purchasing power, that's the same thing that's going to happen to the Defense Department, just on a very significant scale. And this, it's really interesting and rather shocking what is being proposed in the upcoming federal budget by the Biden administration. It's simply that all of the departments are receiving a significant plus-up over previous years, except two departments. One is the Department of Defense, and the other is the Department of Homeland Security. Both are involved in protecting America. And it's really quite stunning and somewhat unprecedented to see something like this happening. The defense budget is essentially a flat budget. And here we are in a situation that's quite challenging, with China being our #1 strategic threat. And everybody who has paid close attention to what is happening here knows full well that China's military is outpacing ours in the Indo-Pacific region, that the balance of power has shifted to their favor, and we are in catch-up. But the budget is not in catch-up. And obviously that is a major problem going forward, Dagan.
Yeah, the budget is, with inflation, even where it was some months ago, is in decline. Or at least that's what the Biden administration wants. General, and particularly if you look at the different arms of the military, the Navy will be hardest hit here. The Wall Street Journal wrote some weeks ago, the U.S. is deciding today what the fleet this country will have if China provokes a maritime conflict 10 or 20 years from now.
Yeah, what we're concerned about, frankly, is President Xi has been very clear. He wants to dominate and control the Indo-Pacific region, replace the United States as the world's global leader, and change the international order as we know it. And in dominating and controlling the Indo-Pacific region, he wants to take full control of Taiwan. Either they willingly submit to that, and they have resisted that, and they have no intent of submitting, then he's willing to do that by force. If that's the case, and let's presume that is, and I think there's evidence to support it, nothing is going to happen eminently because of the Beijing Olympics and a National Party Congress, which will occur in the fall of next year and will enshrine President Xi for a third term, but likely indefinitely. But in the years after that, particularly 24, 25, we are facing a particular threat here and potential confrontation. And we have to move with a sense of urgency to get capability into the region. Deterrence is based on two things, Dagan. Your opponent seeing your capabilities and knowing full well that would impose significant cost on them to engage those capabilities. Secondly, they have to believe that we would use it, that we would make the decision to do that. And I've got great concern on both of those. One, we're behind on the capabilities, and two, I'm not convinced, given the fiasco in Afghanistan where we walked away from a 20-year ally and surrendered the country to our opponents, the Taliban, clearly in the mind of President Xi, you've got to think that there's a possibility in his mind that Biden would not fulfill a commitment and defend our allies in the region based on his past performance. And to have that doubt in the mind of our strategic enemy really takes added risk with the security of the American people, in my judgment.
General, what's the morale among the troops?
Oh, morale among the troops is as good as it's ever been. I mean, this business about there's something wrong going on inside the United States military is absolute rubbish. That's all caught up in politics in Washington. Just think about this. We had a new administration come in on January 20th. Are you telling me that in 6 to 7 months later, somehow, the morale of the 82nd Airborne Division, the morale of our aircraft carrier groups, the morale of our B-2 and B-1 bomber squadrons, the morale of our F-15 22 pilots who are all deployed around the world, that somehow that's gone into the tank? That's nonsense. Those people are out there responding to their chain of command. They pay little attention to what is going on in Washington, D.C., thankfully so. I have no problems with the morale of our forces out there, nor with their willingness to fight and the capabilities that they have. What we need to do is give them the capabilities so they're in a fair fight.
Yes.
And in the sense that we want to have advantage over our adversaries, and we're used to having it, and we don't have it now.
I'm smiling because I just feel so lucky that we have those men and women in uniform protecting us. Let them do their jobs and give them the resources that they need and deserve. Is a premier fighting force in this world. You know, we're the land of the free because we're the home of the brave, including you, dear sir, General Jack Keane. Thank you for being here always.
Yeah, thank you. And that was well said, Dayton. Totally agree with you.